everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you another floral design. I am going to be using 3A Magic paintbrushes, and they are very full of paint, but I'm going to be using a number 10, an 8, and a 6. Then I'm going to be using my little fine liner, my Winstonia fine liner, which I need to actually get a new one. Paint I'm using is all FolkArt paints. I am using Evergreen. I do use a mixture of multi-surface and enamels. Titanium white, berry wine, yellow ochre, Thicket, forest moss, burnt sienna, and Bumble Bee. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using the larger of the brushes, the number 10. I am going to, I think I have this all the way, yeah, it's just I'm using my phone to video right now, so it's kind of hard to have everything in line where you can see everything. But I'm going to be using this burnt sienna and the titanium white for my flowers. Just a little bit of a different combination. But this is basically how I do it. Now, you can do it in between, blending back and forth like this if you want. So you'd go into more of the white if that's what you wanted, more of the white on your brush, or vice versa. If you wanted more of the brown, then you go into that. So you can do it either way. Dip or do the puddles in between and stick your brush into them like that. Alright, I have gone ahead and washed my bottle, soap and water, got the stickers off, and then with rubbing alcohol, just to make sure that I have everything removed that might not allow my design to stick. So that's the important thing, is to make sure not only do you clean your item well before you start painting on it, but that you put a good coat of paint on it, very opaque, like what you're seeing I'm doing here, which a lot of times, in order to get that opaqueness, adding white to it, no matter what kind of white, that seems to have more pigment in it and will, allow that to coat well. That actually, in doing that type of painting where it's opaque, will again give you better coverage. Alright, so on this one I'm going to go just out and come back, and you can kind of turn your brush and do a little swoop like that where it kind of looks like the petals turned up. On these designs, I'm actually just sticking to 5 petals. And you can make them smaller if you want. I'm just doing just kind of random sizes. They might end up all being the same size, who knows, by the time I get done. If when you're painting you feel like it's too transparent, you're not getting the coverage that you want, just go back over it again. Either hit it with a heat gun, or give it some drying time, and then you'll be good to go with going back over. You just have to be careful though, when you're painting on glass and you go back over, you risk the paint coming up, and like you're pulling up the undercoat. So you just have to kind of judge it and see how well it's doing. If you find that it's doing that, then just lightly either tap the paint on, or just very carefully touch up where you think it may be too light. Whoops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to bang it down. Okay, on this design I think I'm just going to start with, I have 4 blooms. I'm going to do 5. I like to do odd numbers. For the purpose of the video, I am just painting on the front side of this bottle. But if I were to sell it, I would actually go back around and finish it off with blooms and greenery and stuff all the way around it. But I think sometimes people have the hardest time getting the coverage that they want. So that's why I say if you're somebody like that, you know, either add some more white into your paint mixture. You know, as far as like I use white all the time for the second color in my one stroke. So that seems to help with that. But like here, you know, if this dries, it may not be as opaque as I want. So then what I would do is just lightly go back over it, or I could right now go ahead and hit it with a heat gun and go back over it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to continue on. Okay, the next brush I'm using is the number 10. I have, you know, the different greens, so what I might do, because I like to add extra colors into my paint, so sometimes I have 3 or 4 colors blended together when I'm doing my designs. Now I'm just going to pull a stem, like we're coming here, and we're going to come out and come around. So that's what I'm doing here. If I feel like it's not thick enough, then I'll just go back over it. You can actually even use a liner brush if you want. You can turn it, turn the your brush as you're doing this, and use the other side, like that's got more of the yellow, because I switched it around, and then I'll come back up here with this one just to make like it's hanging. You could use like a round brush or a liner brush, like I said, if you wanted to fill these in with more paint, because once again I do like them to be thick. So what you're going to see now is I'm going to do some wiggly leaves, and I'm just going to come back up like that, and then come over here and do it again. Come up like that. If I feel like it's not dark enough, because I want to make sure that it is, that you can tell the difference between the two, then I'll just go back over it. Well, and like on this one, you can always just go back over it again if you feel like it didn't, because I want my line to go in there. There you go. And I'll just keep doing this, just putting a few here and there. Make sure I'm on my screen here. And just quickly going like this. Now when you do these kind of strokes, though, sometimes you have a tendency of maybe pulling up some of the paint. But we'll see. And this is where, if you feel like it is pulling up the paint when you're doing your wiggles, you can actually just kind of tap it as you go, like that, and then come back, and that way it doesn't pull all your paint back up. Like that. If you have any questions or comments while I'm doing this, please place those down below. You'll see that I have information down underneath the video where if you have any interest in purchasing any of the, I'm going to go this direction I think this time, any of the supplies that I use, I do provide affiliate links below the video, and you're welcome to order through those if you want. Okay, and then I'm going to do another one. I'm going to just do Get it going. And see, when you're making the leaves too, you can actually, there's so many different leaves, but you can actually just even do partial side, meaning that there's just, you know, that's the leaf, just like that. You don't have to have it coming back down. Or if you don't want to start from this tip and go back down, you can turn it around and come back down the side like that. There we go. We'll put a few, because then I'm going to come through. Let's see here, I'm going to switch over, I think. I'm going to come with my number 8 brush. I am going to switch to the Evergreen and kind of just go into that a little bit, switching maybe back and forth with some other colors. We'll see how these go, because I like to try to get some different colors going, and the reason for that is just it just makes it stand out a little bit more if you do it that way. So basically you go like that, and we'll see what works, because I want to, like I said, I want to make sure I'm getting good coverage. And I can come down. No, that may not be. Let's see here. I don't think I'm getting the coverage that I like. So I'm going to go into my Thicket. Maybe even touch a little bit of the brown in there. That's the thing, is if you don't like the combinations, and just, you know, try something else. That way they're not identical to what you were doing, even though they seem a little transparent. That part I don't like so much. No one has too much brown in it. I'm just trying to do different combos. And you could put little poles in them, little stems. Like I said, if you feel like maybe you don't even like this color combination, you can go back over it with another color. I think it's fine for right now. So that way you distinguish between the two colors. You have a different shaped leaf. And I do apologize. My furnace is getting ready to start, so we will kind of try to talk louder. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I like to try to add some other interest. So I'm going to come through here and just put in, using the yellow ochre and a little bit of white. I'm just kind of pushing it together like that. Not any special loading. So that's what you have to understand. I don't tend to stick with the normal, you have to load it this way or that way. I just kind of do my own thing. So sometimes it's kind of hard to show you. Okay, now because I did not dry this, it's going to pick up some green, I'm sure, which is fine. I don't really care. but I'm doing just a filler leaves, but I wanted them to be a totally different color so they stood out, and they do. Okay, it's just something to give it more interest. And you got to realize when you're doing a bouquet and you're putting flowers together, they're going to overlap each other. That's to be expected. That's just the normal way of creating a bouquet, right? Alright, so then I'm going to come here and do this, and I'm lining these up right next to each other on this one. Sometimes I don't do it that way. And I'm going to come down here like it came out from behind, and then there you go. Alright, so we have that. The last thing that I'm going to do is take my liner brush, my funky old liner brush, and I'm going to stick it into the forest moss. I just like to stick it in and I turn it so it just comes out. It's full of paint, but it's not real thick. And then I'm going to just keep doing it and adding this kind of a center, and like that, and then just keep doing it. Oops. And you can fix those if you want. Straighten them out a little bit. Not a biggie. Then I like to put a line underneath. Like this one is like that. And then we'll just keep doing them. They might go in different directions. And I'll just put a swip underneath, fix that up a little bit. And let's see, a couple more. Maybe go over that way. And put a little thing underneath. And you got one more. This one has a lot of brown underneath, so it'll probably, maybe, pull some brown in. Like that. Then what I'm going to do is take the brush that I'm using, my fine liner, dip it into the Bumble Bee, and just come over here, just stick some dots on here. And it doesn't matter, they can be different sizes, don't have to be big, they can be big, small, combo, doesn't matter. Does not matter. Again, I apologize for the noise in the background. I do my videos right now where I paint down in my basement, so I always have to deal with that, or got one here. Okay, got all 5. Then I'm going to take that particular brush and I'm going to just take the lid off of my berry wine, stick it in here. I'm just sticking it down in the, and I can wipe it off a little bit. It's not as easy to twirl the paint around in there, I guess, as it would be, but that's not that big of a deal. So then I'm just going to come around these and just make this slight little stroke above it or through it, doesn't matter. Could be right by it. Run it through it a little bit, pull some of the paint, doesn't matter. And we're almost done. I appreciate you sticking with me through this video. Let's make sure we got them all. I think we did. All right, so there you go. Pretty darn easy. right? All right, once again, I hope you like this video. If you do, give me a big thumbs up. Before you leave, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you would, hit the share button underneath the video. That way you can share it on your social network with all your family and friends. I'd appreciate it. All right, thanks again for stopping by, and until the next time, please stay safe and healthy, and you have a good one.